today's topic, I'm covering the Florida real estate market. It's near and dear to my heart because we operate in it. What is crazy about the Florida market is that it went nuts through COVID, and then it had a historic amount of hurricanes hit it. The affordability in the market went crazy. The insurance rates went crazy. This market is all out of whack. So what's the deal? Welcome back to the Seven Figure Flipping Podcast. Here's the deal with the Florida market. Number one, it has more inventory today than it's had since 2019, which means buyers have tons of options, which means sellers are having a hard time moving their house for the perceived price they think that it's worth. It is a buyer's market by and large. Okay, what else is going on here? Is it a good state to invest in? Well, the home prices boomed. Why? Because 1,000 people a day moved here through COVID all the way up until 2022, 2023 timeframe. It drove prices through the roof, literally doubling. $200,000 houses became worth $400,000 in a 2-year span. It was absolutely insane. That created a significant affordability problem. People just simply could not afford to buy houses. Compound that with increased interest rates. In theory, if interest rates, mortgage rates go up, and they're about 7% today, then home prices would need to go down. For every percent a mortgage rate goes up, we lose a significant amount of buying power. So the interest rates doubled, the prices didn't go down, and it stalled out the market almost completely. In 2024, we had 5 hurricanes, not 1, not 2, not 3, as LeBron said, not 4, but 5. 5 hurricanes that hit the Florida coast, and that skyrocketed, and I mean skyrocketed, the insurance rates. Now, so you have an affordability issue, you have high interest rates, and you have high insurance. And oh, by the way, the population growth has slowed, so therefore demand in the market has slowed significantly. How could we possibly win in this state? Well, it's still a sunshine state. It's still a highly sought after retirement location. It's still a state that favors the rights of people. It's not as regulated as other states, and it does not have any state tax. So it's still very attractive to people. People will come and go in waves, similar to other highly sought after places. So it's not dead yet. Here is the other thing you need to think about when investing in the state of Florida is if you're on the coast or not on the coast. If you're on the coast and you're in a flood zone, your insurance premiums are going to be significantly higher. If you're not in a primary flood zone, your insurance premiums will be more forgiving. So you can still get an affordable insurance in Florida, regardless of what the media says to you. Okay, can you win here? The answer is yes, but there's some nuance to it. In Florida, in counties, in cities, there are favorable school areas. There are favorable zip codes, there are favorable neighborhoods. If you're a house flipper, if you look at real estate at a micro local level, you will see that the days on market and the activity in specific highly sought after areas is still really good. Home prices have not declined very much. So therefore, you can still get a house for a great price and flip it and make really great margins in the state of Florida. Here's what I would recommend. If you buy a house to flip, I would recommend that your after repair value gets adjusted down by 2 to 3% to hedge for future decline in home pricing. So the real estate market increased 50% and it started to pull back a little bit. It's still way higher than it's ever been, but I would expect very slow or no growth, or even in some areas, a 2 to 3% decline. If you're a house flipper, that just means you win at the buy, you adjust for the ARV, and you make a commensurate offer with that adjusted ARV. If you're a wholesaler, it means you need to get more motivated leads. You need to focus more on better areas, and you need to negotiate better deals, because house flippers are not going to take trash deals. In 2022 and in 2021, flippers would buy anything almost regardless of what you put it out for as a wholesaler, because they knew the market was growing insanely. Now, here's the other factor. The election happened. The election was overwhelming. The United States spoke on who they wanted and what would make them feel better. The University of Michigan puts out something called the Consumer Index. It's about how people feel about the market. Feeling drives the market just as much as the numbers and the economics do. If people don't feel like we're headed in a good direction, and they are concerned and worried and anxious, they stall on making big purchases. We saw this in the months leading up to the election when there was uncertainty. People decided, I'm not going to do anything. Houses sat for months, great properties in great areas, and nobody wanted to buy. Now that the election has happened, it was overwhelmingly red. Whether you like red or blue doesn't really matter. The United States spoke. They said red is what they wanted. They got what they wanted. And you're starting to see the activity pick up on the real estate market. So understanding the environment. Here's the last piece for you. It is November. Things slow down in the state of Florida and really nationwide from November through the end of the year, because people go into Thanksgiving, they go into Christmas, it's the holidays. Very few families want to pick up and move during the holidays. The real estate market operates on a cycle. From January to July, you see the activity increase. It peaks in May, June, and July. And from July to December, you see the activity decrease. Every single year, like clockwork, you can look up transaction volume by month, every year, and it shows you that exact sine wave. So if your house is going on the market in the next 2 months, don't freak out, or maybe wait until the second week of January to put it on the market, or maybe even pull it down off the market over the holidays. Let the days on market reset and then relist it the second week of January, when everybody's back in the saddle and focused on the future and growth in the next year. Okay, let's get after it. Let's win. Thanks for joining us.